Welcome to the Positive Spiritual Living Podcast, brought to you by Unity on the Bay. This is your positive path for spiritual living.
We're going to be spending the next 7 weeks delving through the pages of this book, Divine Audacity. It's by Unity Minister Linda Martella Whitsett, and many of you were here earlier this year when she was our guest, not only for experiences with our prayer chaplains. In this book, she brings new life to what actually is the origin of the Unity movement and message. I never realized this, even being a lifelong student of Unity, until a number of years ago when a book was published by Neil Volley, commissioned by our world headquarters, in which he traced the evolution of the Unity teaching. And a lot of people don't realize the Unity teaching has evolved over the last 125 years. It began with Charles and Myrtle Fillmore in the late 1800s, teaching the principles of a concept called the 12 powers. And according to Charles Fillmore, this concept involves Unity's metaphysical interpretation of the Holy Scriptures, in that he believed every character and every experience in the Bible was symbolic of some aspect of your own spiritual awakening. Thus, the Bible becomes your guidebook to quickening your own spiritual revelation and remembrance of who you are. And he took this concept into the idea of Jesus and the 12 disciples, realizing them all to be external reflections of internal aspects of every human being, in truth, every divine being. And he said this, that the moment you begin to remember who you are as the Christ, as the divine perfection, in that moment, the Christ takes reign over all aspects of you and begins to quicken 12 spiritual faculties within you. So you begin to get this idea that Christ is more than a man who lived 2,000 years ago. It is a divine state of awareness that you are entitled to right now in this moment. And that begins to become more settled in your awareness, in your consciousness, in your thoughts, and in your belief system. I am the Christ. I am brother with Jesus the Christ, because I have the Christ consciousness and faculty within me. And as you begin to really let that take root in your awareness, you start to quicken 12 faculties. And so during the next 7 weeks, each week we're going to be remembering a couple of these divine faculties.
I'm really excited. How about you? 7 weeks that we have to power up. So let's begin right here, right now, to power up, because there's tremendous power in this room. I may not know much, but I do know one thing, that the power of God is in each and every one that I'm looking at right now. Whether you believe it or not, I see that for you, because that is the truth. So let's begin by being who we are. So take a moment. Are you ready to go to the next level in consciousness? Okay, so put your left hand on your heart, breathe into your heart, and quickly visualize a beautiful light there. Even if you can't see it, know that it's there. Visualize the light there, feel it in every heartbeat, and then gently in your heart whisper these words: I am the light of the world.
I am.
Now, let's declare this out to the world really powerfully, because your word has power. So let's just say it out loud. I am the light of the world. Doesn't it feel good to own this? Now turn to the person next to you and say, hi, I am the light. Hi, I am the light. I am introducing myself as the light. I am the light. I am the light. I am the light. Now, these were Jesus' words. Jesus said, I am the light, right? But what happened? We thought that it had to do with the man Jesus. So we gave our power to something out there, and we continue to create superheroes out here to save us. When in reality, what Jesus was saying, that he says later on, is, You are the light of the world. The truth is that the light is the I am, the living, loving Christ presence that resides in each and every one of us. So these 7 weeks are about embodying the Christ and embodying the light of these 12 powers. So calling them forth and bringing them into our everyday life. He also said, a city set on a hill cannot be ignored. It has to shine its light out to the world. But many times we hide in the caves and under the covers of our bed because, I have been given such a bad life. And my karma, my parents, I'm reliving and reliving my old drama over and over again. So we play it small. And the reality is, we fear success more than we fear failure. Let's admit it. It's easier to play it small. It's more challenging to really step up into who you are and take full responsibility, and I mean 100% responsibility for our life. That means that when we turn on the light, as the scripture says, we don't hide it under a basket. So imagine that you turn on a lamp, and you hide it right here and put stuff all over it so that nobody sees the light. Nobody sees the light. And you have all these talents and gifts that were given to you, but nobody sees them because you're not willing to see that for yourself. The scripture says, you got to put it on a stand and share it. Let your light shine to the world. Even if the whole world has told you over and over again that you don't matter, that you don't have anything to give, stop believing that. Stop it, stop it, stop it. It's not the truth. You've bought into a lie. And where is the past? Gone. We have this moment. And this moment, we're being called to power up, to step into our light. Truly step into our light. That means shine our light in every cell, every atom, in our physical body. Know that it is light. It means in the way we think, speak, act. So what is light? What question is, what is light? Light is our true nature. It is the divine essence. It is this undescribable energy, this force that's underlying all creation. This is light. God is light. And in this light, we find all the powers. We say God is love. Well, that's one of the powers. All these powers that we're being called to be. So the invitation this morning is to be the light. Truly be who you are. I woke up with a song this morning. Boy, do I wish I could sing. But many of you might be familiar with a song by Indra Iri. I am light. I am light. I am not my mistakes. I am not the color of my skin. I am not this. I am not this. I am not this. So start to shed, like the serpent does, the old skin of all the old identities that you have bought into. I am not my mistakes. I am not this. I am not what the world tells me that I am. I am not. I am not. I am not. I am the living, loving Christ. I am the light of the world. I am a part of all existence. I am part of the divine puzzle. I am part of the mystery. Because the whole power that created the entire universe is in each and every one of us. And not only is this in the scriptures over 100 and something times, it is in the core of every major religion. In the Upanishads, it says The light that shines above the heavens and above the world, the light that shines in the highest world, beyond which there are no others, that is the light that shines in the hearts of men. And that is the light that is shining right here, right now in your heart. And if you cannot believe that for yourself this morning, stop it. Stop it. There's no time. There's no time to play it small. But yet, can you hold that truth to the person to your right and to your left? Can you do that this morning? Okay. See that for everyone around us. For our spiritual community. For our city. For our country. Boy, does our country need in this moment to see it in the light of truth. For our entire world, because there's only one power and one presence, and it is waking up as you shine your light.
So in the business of allowing this light to be brilliant within each one of us, Charles Fillmore suggests that Jesus, being conscious of his true identity as a child of God, began to activate the 12 powers that were symbolized by the 12 disciples. So each disciple in Charles Fillmore's scriptural interpretation represents a different power that dwells within you. And as I mentioned, we're going to be sharing all of these 12 powers during the next 7 weeks. But this morning, we're going to be starting specifically with faith. Let me review these powers with you. The first one is faith. The second is understanding. The third is will. The fourth is imagination, followed by zeal, and then power, love, wisdom, strength, order, and renunciation. Renunciation being your power to release. And this morning we're going to talk about faith and we're going to talk about understanding. And very interestingly, I had a friend that shared a story with me that wasn't about faith. It was actually about unfaithfulness, but I simply can't resist sharing it with you right now. A mother-in-law arrives home one day only to find her son-in-law in a frantic state, extremely angry, throwing things from the drawers of his dresser into suitcases and saying, "I'm getting the hell out of town." And she says, "Good Lord, what could have possibly happened?" And he said, "Well, yesterday I sent your daughter, my wife, an email telling her that I was going to come home from a fishing trip 24 hours ahead of schedule. I arrived today and I found her upstairs in bed with my very best friend. This marriage is over. I'm out of here." And the mother-in-law says, "Oh, wait just a moment," she says. "I am sure there is a reasonable explanation for this predicament. Let me go upstairs and talk to my daughter." So she goes upstairs, has a conversation with the daughter, and she begins descending the staircase with this immensely reassuring smile on her face. And she says, "I told you there was a reasonable explanation for this predicament." And the son-in-law says, "And what was it?" "She didn't get your email." So, I have a question for you this morning. What are you putting your faith in? What are you putting your faith in? You see, faith is an investment, my friends. It really is. Faith's an investment. You're always putting your faith in basically one of two things. You're either putting your faith in the things of this world, and that even goes so far as to include individuals, people in your life, governments, societies, conditioned belief systems, religion. We put our faith in all kinds of things, but all of those constructs are of the world of time and space, all materiality. And materiality is subject to change. It goes up one day, it goes down the next. It excites you and thrills you in one moment, and it freaks you out in the next. So it's a very unstable thing to place or invest your faith in. And what we're about in the next 12 weeks is learning to understand, appreciate something other than materiality that we can put our faith in. I went to the dictionary to find a definition of faith, and this is it. Complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Someone or something. My question of you this morning is your someone or something of this realm of materiality, or is it representative of a greater realm? In 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter and the 18th verse, we read these words, "So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." You see, it is possible through an act of faith, and it does take faith, but it's possible through an act of faith to begin to invest your belief, your trust, your confidence in something that you'll never be able to perceive with your five senses, but it is more real than anything of the sensate world, I guarantee you. Now, I grew up in Missouri, and if you don't know this, Missouri prides itself on calling it the show me state. And they're always running around saying, show me this and show me that, as if to say, prove this to me or prove that to me. And one of my favorite statements has to do with contradicting that early childhood conditioning of show it to me, by realizing that seeing is not believing, my friends. Seeing is not believing. You cannot believe in what you see, because in truth, believing is seeing. Believing always precedes seeing. It is through your investment of faith, confidence, and trust in something that it becomes a reality in your life. And we began to realize this here at Unity on the Bay a number of years ago, and we coined the phrase for ourselves and our spiritual community that we are a community of faith. A community of faith. That means that we come together to support each other in reminding ourselves that the best investment of our faith is always in the unseen. It's unseen, but it is intuitively felt. And once you get past all the compelling reports of time and space and the five senses, you begin to develop this awareness. This is the Christ awakening in you. This is the divine capacity. All of these qualities are invisible in their original format, all of these 12 faculties. They only begin to express or demonstrate in your life as you invest them with your belief, as you invest them with your faith. And then they become active in your world, because believing is, in fact, seeing. And every day here at Unity on the Bay at noon, Monday through Thursday, which is our work week, and Sunday, of course, as well, but we gather together in the Prosperity Room, which is over in the mansion here, the other side of the building. And we come together to hold you in our prayers, to hold our spiritual community in our prayers, and also to join with Unity Centers and Unity Works all the way around the globe who are pausing at the same time. Even our friends in Silent Unity, our international prayer ministry in Missouri. And we move into a place of silence, being ushered by these words. The first are scriptural. They come from Hebrews 11, first verse. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So I'm asking you this morning, to what degree can you move beyond needing to be able to see something in order to believe it, and start to invest your belief in that which is unseen? And then the second part of our statement is an affirmation. I have total faith. And this is important. This isn't partial faith. This isn't a faith that you're considering or contemplating. You're rooted in it. You have been through enough investments of faith in the outer to come to the place of realizing putting it in the inner is more valuable. Through faith, I open myself and my spiritual community. Because as you open yourself as a part of this spiritual community, I guarantee you, you're opening the whole spiritual community to infinite, invisible substance. No, you can't see it, you can't taste it, but you can feel it. Infinite, invisible substance that manifests to bless, to heal, and to prosper. So my question of you this morning is, are you ready to be blessed and healed and prospered? Then join me in beginning consciously to withdraw your investment of faith from the world of time and space and all things particular, as Lao Tzu calls it, the world of materiality, and begin to invest your faith in God.
Okay, let's take a moment to reflect what you got about where your faith is focused on and what you're going to take back and put that on God. Because thank you, Chris, I realized one thing as Chris was speaking. I had to take a breath. Sometimes I give my power away to technology. And then I get frustrated, and then, I think, ooh, and I don't know, so I have a lot of faith on those emails, and a lot of faith on those apps that sometimes I don't even know what they are, what they're doing on my phone. So I'm willing to take that power back and trust, absolutely trust, and that God is absolutely moving through me, and always I will have the support to understand what I need to understand. So that's where I'm choosing to put my faith in God, to really expand my sense of self, even understanding technology. So did you figure out where you've been putting your faith, and are you ready to take that back? Now let's look at activating the power of understanding, calling that forth, beaming that light through understanding. And as I was contemplating on this power, I really realized how important it is. Because through understanding, we can use this amazing, amazing thing that we call brain in different ways. Through the power of understanding, we no longer need to identify as poor little me, the ego, and all the different roles that we play. And through the power of understanding, we can come to really understand who we truly are. The living, loving Christ, the I am. So through the power of understanding, instead of getting caught up in the same habitual way, we can free the mind, because it is a very powerful tool for awakening. The power of understanding is amazing for awakening and to realize who we truly are, because it is the very essence that's underlying all creation, that is source, that it is source. So through this understanding, we realize that God is always, always, always here, and that we can really tap into this power at any moment. Through the power of understanding, we can free ourselves from our habitual thinking. Did you know that 99% of our thoughts are recycled? We put on every morning when we wake up, we're still in that limbo state. We don't know who we are, right? That's consciousness free. But right away, we put on the knowing. What do I have to do today? What am I going to show up? Oh my, and on and on and on, the movie begins, and we go into that trance. So it is through using this tool that we can begin to free ourselves from the known, from our habitual selves, from the misidentity, so that we can truly identify with who we truly are. And one of the ways that we can do so is asking the right questions. So instead of living in the how and living in the known, we can ask questions that really open ourselves up to possibilities, to the unknown, to the quantum mind. So, if I tell you, how much is it possible to, how to run? How much is a human being able to run? How fast is a human being able to run? And you can Google it and you can find it. But that's the known. There's always somebody breaking the record. So just because something has not been done doesn't mean that it can't be done. So that's when we open ourselves to possibilities, which is another way of saying we can open our consciousness, open ourselves to living in multidimensional ways. It's an upgrade in consciousness, an upgrade in our software through this power of understanding. And you will start noticing that these powers do not work individually. They work together. So when you really begin to use this power of understanding, the door of wisdom opens up. And you begin to be more wise. You begin to be, just trusting intuition. The door of intuition opens up so you can be more relaxed and have greater confidence in who you are and show up in a different way, because you're beaming your light. You're no longer hiding your light. You're beaming your light. You're discovering who you are, and you're bringing it forth into the world. There is an old story of how the creator, Brahma, was very lonely, very lonely. And so he decided to create this beautiful goddess just to have fun. And so he creates this beautiful goddess, and she says, well, I'm willing to do what you say, but I want to play a game. And he was so excited to have company that he said, sure, sure. He says, create a beautiful world. So Brahma goes on and creates a magnificent world. He creates the skies, the mountains, the oceans, creates the birds and the animals, and creates human beings. And then he says, well, Brahma, when is this going to begin? When is the game going to begin? And she says, right now. And she chops up Brahma into billions of little pieces and puts one in every individual. So our Creator is in each and every one of us, waiting for us to understand this power, to realize this power, and to step up our sense of self to be who we are. The divine is awakening in each and every one of us, and it's calling us to embody this power. And that really means not even to run away. That doesn't mean that we run away from whatever arises. It means that we meet it in a different way. For example, as human beings, through living our lives in a sense of separation, ego arises. And in the ego faces what? Fear. And then imagination, which is one of the powers, runs away with fear, creating all these stories of what could happen. So if we're living more conscious of these powers and bringing them forth, one thing that we can do is take a breath and say, okay, what is this showing me? First of all, I'm out in the future, into the unknown, and life is always in the present moment. So let me take back my power and bring it here and say, okay, I am projecting something into the future that doesn't even exist. So fear, show me what is arising, because that means that I'm being called to be more, and I'm still wanting to play small. And I'm here to really be the light of the world, which means I am really to step up my game, and through the power of understanding, I am going to begin to see things differently, because I know that everything out here is only a projection of who I am. And if I change the way that I see things, then things begin to change, because I am free in consciousness. I am free. This is using the power of understanding to think differently from our spiritual sense of self, the essence of who we are. So instead of saying, oh, why did this happen to me? Why do I have such bad luck? Change that around to, what is the gift in this? What is the blessing here? What can I learn from this? What can I learn from this experience? And there's a greater sense of self and a greater strength when we're willing to meet things in this way, because ultimately the universe always corrects itself and aligns itself for our better. Charles Fillmore says, there are two ways of getting understanding. One is by following the guidance of spirit that dwells within, and the other is to go blindly ahead and learn by experience. The way that I understand this is, we can either go through the University of Love, or we can go to the University of Hard Knocks. How many of you attended the same university that I did, Hard Knocks? How many alumni are there? Yeah. I don't regret it. I learned a lot, but there's a better way. There's actually a better way. So many of you have already a graduate degree from the University of Hard Knocks, right? So let's get a PhD from the University of Love. Can we do that? So The invitation is power up these 7 weeks. During this week, take the time, as soon as you wake up in the morning, notice where your faith is. Is your faith in the outer world, or is your faith in the power that lies within you? Take back your power. Use the power of understanding to ask the right questions. Learn from the silence. Learn from stillness. And always, always, always trust the light that you are, because you are the light of the world, and you are the one that the world needs right now.
It is time for our prosperity opportunity, and we call it a prosperity opportunity because it's your opportunity and it's my opportunity to demonstrate the spiritual reality of infinite, invisible substance. Now, one of the ways that we like to do that at Unity on the Bay is by a couple times a year challenging you. And we started last week with our tithing challenge. How many of you were here with Edwene Gaines? Isn't that woman magical? She really is. She was introducing all of us to the power of tithing. And right now you have the perfect opportunity this morning to engage in that ancient practice that promotes greater well-being in every arena of your life. And we're here to help you take that leap of faith by joining the tithing challenge. You can pick up cards in the foyer, and you can go online as well to become a part of this program. And we will support you as you step up to the plate to bring tithing as a tool into your life, to bring greater awareness to the abundance that's yours in terms of relationships, your pocketbook, the health of your body, every arena of your life. There are different levels that you can involve yourself in. You can become an extravagant giver by stepping up to 15% of your total income toward the tithe, toward the source of your spiritual nourishment, which we hope and pray is here at Unity on the Bay. Or you can become a 10% tither, and there are other options on the card or online as well. But the important thing is that we will be with you step by step through the process. Juan coordinates this by sending you emails. We're going to send you some special affirmation cards that are created by Edwene Gaines. We want to be there with you so that not only can we support you and give you guidance as you step into the practice of tithing, but also so that we can celebrate with you as the harvest comes in from the commitment that you're making. So it's a wonderful way, if you've been considering bringing the practice of tithing into your life as a tool for greater prosperity, this could be the opportunity. So please join us in this tithing challenge. If you're already a part of the tithe, or pardon me, if you're already a tither at Unity on the Bay, you can still become involved in the program, and that way you get all the perks and the benefits of being engaged in it. As the ushers come forward, and as you consciously and intentionally prepare to bless your gift, I just remind you, as I always do, that you have the power to bless. Did you know that? Yes, you did. And you're always blessing everything through the power of your vibration. So it behooves you to bless it with love, with gratitude, with appreciation. As you take your gift and hold it close to your heart, infuse it with your love. Infuse it with the highest energy of gratitude that you can. And let's affirm our offertory statement together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Positive Spiritual Living Podcast, brought to you by Unity on the Bay, a spiritual community located in Miami, Florida. Unity on the Bay is supported by the generosity of its community. If you'd like to make a donation or learn more about Unity on the Bay, please visit unityonthebay.org. You can also follow Unity on the Bay on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for even more positive spiritual inspiration. Until next time, thanks for listening and many blessings. Namaste.